Hello viewers, it's Super GT here. Welcome to Dirt Rally Record Hunter number 3. So in this series I pick a stage in Dirt Rally and try to set myself the best time on the leaderboards that I can. Now this is the stage we're doing today, the Col De Turini stage of Monte Carlo as recommended by Niall Smullen. I apologise if I'm saying that wrong. In the previous video he recommended this stage and this car, the Peugeot 206 Maxi in the F2 class. So the interesting thing about this car is that it's front wheel drive, which makes it very hard to drive on the ice at the end of the stage, well, and the asphalt at the start of the stage, as we can see here. Now as you'll see many times, as I get on the throttle, most front wheel drive cars will automatically want to straighten themselves up, which makes it very hard to go around the sharper corners if the car wants to straighten rather than go round. So this is going to be very interesting, and this is genuinely my first run of this stage. I haven't done any practice runs at all. Just going to go round, just trying to do my best according to the pace notes. That is all I've got to go on. It's very hard to memorise these stages with a few runs. You really have to play the stage for about half an hour at least. So moving ahead slightly, split to 1 minute 39. Now at the moment that means absolutely nothing because this is my first run. I have no idea if that's good or bad. Probably quite bad because I'm going to go wide here. Oh, and just fall off to my impending doom in dramatic slow motion. So there we go, unrecoverable car. Let's start again. Let's go for another run. So this is going to be my second run, I guess, now. Hopefully I can make it to the end this time without killing myself and the co-driver. So, moving ahead slightly to a fast flowing section here. Still on the asphalt in the first half of the stage. As we come... Oh god, we're going to hit that ambulance. But we are going to carry on. As I have said in the previous videos, one of my rules are to go to the end basically. So obviously just now I fell off the cliff and died, so I couldn't carry on. But if I can carry on, I will carry on to set myself a time. At least if I do have a very horrible run, I know where to improve for the next time around. So let's see what our time will be coming up to the halfway mark. It was 1:39, so 1:41.9. So I've lost 2 seconds compared to my previous run. So that's already a lot of time I could be saving. So moving on towards the icy area of the stage. So pretty much asphalt for the first half and then ice for the second. So these hairpins here, making it really tricky, as I said at the start of the video. Kind of have to get the handbrake on, get some handbrake action going, and as I graze against the ice bank on the side, or the snow bank. So yeah, the handbrake really does help a lot. But you do have to maintain a decent level of throttle control, otherwise you will just straighten out too much. So over the finish line we go. Let's see what time that is. A 3:41.924. Is that good? Let's see. Raceboy 77 there, just 1 second quicker. So I'd assume that is quite good. But if we look on the overall board, so after about 10 years of scrolling down, we can find ourselves, there we are, 721st, which is actually quite bad compared to my previous 2 attempts of a record hunter. So going to the top, 3:21, 20 seconds quicker, and the bottom there, 2,900, 739 in the world. So let's go again. We know the stage a little bit now, so hopefully we can improve our time by quite a bit more. Going too early into the first hairpin there though. There's a bit of time to be saved. A bit further around the stage, trying to keep it close to the walls as possible without obviously going into them like that, I guess. So let's restart that. We're not going to continue now. That rule about going to the end only applies for the first time. So continuing here, 5 seconds up, shows that we can go quicker into the hairpin, and we are going to have another one of these impending doom moments where we slide down to our inevitable death. But we're going to restart again, coming through the fast flowing section around the middle of the track. We're about a third of the way in. We're going to hit the ambulance. Look at this hitbox. What is going on there? It thinks I'm in contact with that ambulance. Clearly I'm not though. This is like that accident I had on the MX-5 race on Forza just the other day, where, I don't know, the hitboxes are kind of out, and that kind of proved my point there. But we're going to try again, going through the first splits here. Let's see what our time is. 53.4, just a little bit quicker, about 0.6 quicker. Coming into the second splits here, halfway through the stage. Let's see our split time, 6.8 seconds. So we're on for a 2:35 at this rate. So you kind of have the decision to make now. Do you push and try to improve even more, or do you just play it casually, conservative, and try to get that 2:35 without risking too many crashes? So coming up to the end here, let's see what time we can get. This last sector here, really quite tricky on the handbrake. A lot of hairpins, a lot of very sharp corners. So over the line for our second completed run. Let's see, 43rd in the world, so quite a big improvement, down to 331.6. Now we are going to target a 330 or below, which is 16th in the world. Let's see if we can do that. So we are going to start again through the first sector here. Now the first sector is always the one which I will remember the most after I keep restarting and keep doing it all the time. So coming through, no, we're not going to go through here. We're going to hit the wall and go off. Look at the pace driver, the co-driver. He is still reading those pace notes as we go down to our death. But we have respawned for one final attempt to try and get below 3 minutes 30 and to the top 16 in the world. Let's see if we can do it. Now we are going to go through the entire run this time. I'm not going to skip it at all. So let's see what we can do here. Getting the handbrake on there. You can see a little bit of a boogie on the back end there as I kick out the handbrake with the handbrake. Getting a bit of handbrake action to get that back end sliding. It's a bit harder to get the back end sliding in a front wheel drive car because of course the power isn't going to do it for you. On a rear wheel drive car, of course, the throttle will help the back go round, but that is not the same in a front wheel drive car. So it's actually a really tricky stage. So Niall, I've got to say, this is actually a really tricky combination of car and circuit. We are through the first sector there, 0.4 quicker than our previous best. But as I was saying, it really is a good combination. We're pushing our luck through there. Going to hit the ambulance. Or did we hit the ambulance, or did we just hit some random hitbox about 2 meters away from the ambulance? But yeah, this is a really good combination of car and stage. A really good test of driving skill. You do have to be very patient on the throttle. Patient in the way that if you mash it down too early, the car will straighten out, which is not exactly what you want. So through the halfway mark there, 2.5 seconds up on our previous best. So as it stands here, we will be going quicker than the 3 minute 30 mark, which is what I am aiming for. So again, it begs the question, do I go all conservative, or do I push even more to try and lose or try and gain even more time over my previous best? My method here was to play actually quite safe. Just make sure I get on the brakes nice and early, get on the handbrake as well. Stick close to the inside of the corner around these icy bends. I found that was the best way actually, rather than sliding too wide and hitting the bank on the outside of the turn. So the hairpin here, getting on the brakes nice and early. The gears were really tricky in this car. I couldn't decide whether to go down into first, second or third for some of these corners, because going into second, sometimes the gear would be too long and it would take so long to accelerate, but in first you'd be bouncing off the limiter. But through the 3/4 mark there, over 3 seconds down, or up should I say, getting my opposites completely wrong here, 3 seconds up or 3 seconds below my best there, so quicker as it stands. One split left, so Super GT, don't fuck it up here, as I almost do going into the bank, but we have continued. We live to survive, live to fight for another day through there. A couple of more corners left, a big hairpin here, getting on the brakes nice and early. That is where I went off earlier to one of my 3 deaths on this stage. So through a 90-degree right, on the handbrake there into second gear. and just a few corners remain. We are heading to a 3:21 now, so that is the fastest time in the world already done. As we come into the final turn, 3:26, 3:27. We've done a 3:27, so well under the 3:30, which is good. So let's see what position that puts me. And it's 6th. We are on the front page. So that is going to be all from me in this one. I hope you have enjoyed it. It's been a really tricky one, a really tricky episode actually. So please do suggest more stages and the cars to use. That was a very good choice from Niall for this one. I thank you very much for that suggestion. So that's all from me. Hit that like button, subscribe if you'd like to see more of the same, and I shall see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.